friends, it's Kelly and I have a new process video today for the Through the Rainbow Challenge, and that challenge is hosted by Scylla Hefferman from the Crafty Low and No Spin group, and there are lots of other awesome ladies that have been participating throughout this year, and I will link all of those awesome creatives down below. So this month for September, we are focusing on the color brown, and I don't have much brown. So what I have been doing, most of the ladies are going through their brown or through their paper stash and through rainbow order, and just trying to use up some of those colors. So I have been using my scraps, and I tried to go through my scraps, and really the only brown things that I have are like wood grain. So it did make me think about this paper pad that I have in my stash that has browns in it. And there's a hair I'm shedding. Anyway, I did have this piece of brown cardstock, which is a real light tan brown, in my scraps, but that was really, other than wood grain, that was about it. And so when I pulled out this paper pad, it made me think of some vintage photos I have, and well, not really vintage. This was from the 70s, early 70s, because I was a baby. So, and this is my sister, my dad, and my grandmother. So I just thought this would be a perfect opportunity to scrap some of these photos with this with the brown color palette. So I just kind of started flipping through here and found, I think this would be really pretty. This has some kind of brown, different shades of brown and some grays. And so I just thought I would just kind of show you what I will be working with. And here in just a moment, I'm going to fast forward this video and just do a voiceover from here on out. So thank you for watching. Be sure to go check out all the other ladies that are participating. And if you do decide to take up the challenge of using your brown stash, we would love to see what you create in the Crafty Low and No Spend group. Say that 3 times fast. It's a tongue twister. All right, so without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Thanks for watching. So I'm choosing a few papers with different shades of brown, a little darker shade, a little bit a medium shade, and then a lighter shade. And I feel like that gives it enough contrast where it's not going to look boring. We don't want it to look boring, do we? So I'm just going to go with a central design, right? I'm going to just layer that on top, right down the middle. And that's about a 10 by 12 piece of paper. I cut off about 2 inches from that lighter floral. And I'm using these burlap textured border strips that I got at Hobby Lobby. They are Paper Studio, and I recently got them when they were 50% off. And I'm just going to add a little bit of my art glitter glue, and I have found that it works perfectly for ribbon and just about any material. I haven't had trouble with this glue not working or failing, so I've been pretty happy with it. So I'm going to just add another strip of paper, and I just kind of cut everything down into blocks of pattern paper, just because I tend to work better that way. If I have paper that I can just move around and play with, and it kind of takes the fear away of messing up a sheet of paper. If you just right off the bat just cut it down to some strips that you can layer and move around the page. So the scrap that came from my scrap bin, I'm going to get that used on this page, and I'm also using some of the cut aparts to layer under my photo, as you'll see. And then I pulled in a doily because I just felt like it needed a little bit more contrast, and the circular element of the doily kind of also helps to break up all those straight edges and lines and gives it a little bit more softness, which, since this is mainly about my grandma and spending time at their lake house when we were little, and I wanted this to have a more soft and feminine feel because that's what I associate with my grandmother and our childhood. So I'm just using, like I said, using the cut aparts to layer. I just cut those into that one rectangle into triangles, and I'm going to layer that on either side of the photo. I like the way that looks, and I also like that darker color gives it a little more contrast, so it doesn't just kind of blend in with the pattern paper that I am putting it on top of. So I think the key when you're doing a kind of monochromatic layout like this is to use different shades of that color. And this paper pad was perfect because it had light, medium, and dark shades of the brown, which was pretty perfect. And so I started playing around with the elements and finally found a composition that I'm happy with. And I knew that for this layout I wanted to do quite a bit of journaling, so that cut apart journaling block is perfect. And it has lines, which this girl needs lines or it's gonna be it's gonna be slanted. So unless I use the ruler, so it's just handy to have a cut apart that is ready for journaling. So I went ahead and cut that doily in half and just added one half to each side of the layout. And I had these wood veneer pieces. The Remember is a wood veneer. It has a sticky back, and I'm just going to go ahead and kind of lay those out to see if I want to use them, if I like them. And I'm just going to decorate the two corners, the top left and the bottom right corner, and I'm using the same elements in both clusters of embellishments. And I don't always like to do that, but in this case, I feel like it looks just fine to use the exact same elements, so one side just mimics the other. And I'm using the little brown leather bow that I had in my stash, and I'm also using some of these burlap flowers that I get from Hobby Lobby, and I tend to use those a whole lot because I just like the little bit of texture it adds to a layout, and it matches the burlap borders that I used early on. And let's see, the heart shape are like corduroy textured, and I got those from AliExpress. Just adding a little more glue, and I will not do my journaling on camera, but there's the journaling. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please consider giving me a like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload my next video. Thank you. Bye.